So, as I mentioned before, Arthur wants us to go over more of Skin Deep. The last time we went over it, we mostly looked at some short stories, and this time, I'm going to go over Exchanges, a 3-part story arc that takes place prior to the start of the series. And for those just tuning in, Skin Deep mostly centers around a young college student named Michelle who finds out she is a Grecian sphinx, a species once believed to be extinct, and that other people are like her and that they are mythical creatures disguised as humans. While adjusting to this revelation, demons, who are apparently trying to capture her on behalf of their queen, for reasons unknown. And it just adds to the stress of her new life and the truths she's learning. Apart from setting that up, so far we've seen daily life scenarios with occasional appearances by the demons, and from the looks of things, this 3-parter is going to expand upon the universe with more characters, and more creatures from folklore. Even if it doesn't continue the plot, I'm still curious to see what's in store. So let's start off Exchanges with the chapter named Handshakes. As per the cover page, which has Finn and someone new together, while what appears to be a Loch Ness monster slowly rising. As we appear in Liverpool in August, we are introduced to 2 new characters, Anthony and Blanc. The latter having something to confess, but Anthony seems to know what it is. You're gay, I know. And no, I'm not going to reference Persona 4 this time because it doesn't work in this particular context. No, it turns out Blanc is a stag, which Anthony thinks is gay lingo, but then he transforms and we see what he meant. Apparently not deterred by this, he takes him to one of the warehouses that are said to be safe havens for their kind. I guess this is an example of someone who knew their friend long enough to where they trust each other with big secrets like this? Though I guess he needs to get used to certain transformation bits. Tony, I'd like you to meet Mr. Alec Hyde. He's trying real hard to scare you. Spoil sport. Who's your boyfriend, Blanky?
Saying I like dudes.
Damn it. I promised myself I'd lay off the Him Daisy references. So now Anthony gets to have his first look at the Liverpool Avalon. Basically, given the size, it could be a small town with a ceiling that's fake, but almost realistic. Now this is neat as it shows the various creatures here acting like this is a normal living environment, with Anthony being the only one standing out. Of course, he is still having some trouble soaking in this interesting revelation, but at least Blanc is happy he isn't terrified at this point. Now these 2 here, Zek and Elise, I think they're meant to represent the punks of mythical society, or at least teens who believe that the human is trying to put them down with their pro-human propaganda. And yeah, they do have a good point. How many beasts did Hercules kill, and how many of them were really evil? Have you seen the Yeah, I can't pronounce that. My Little Ponies? Disgraceful, utter tripe. They are warriors, fighters, not beasts of burden or playthings for little girls. Ha! Shows what you know. Most people who like them are dudes and, where was I going with this? But yeah, Elise really thinks everyone is against them and feeling the oppression. All things considered, she might be onto something. But here's a twist. Finn is in this story, along with his friend Lorne. And apparently he once dated Elise, which is why he's afraid of her. And he also dated Lorne? Damn, Finn, you really get around. So it turns out that Finn is leaving for America, likely to attend the same school Michelle and friends are going to, so definitely this is before the main plot would begin. But Lorne doesn't want him to go since they're friends and all. Though Finn wants to go since he's never done anything by himself before. Though Lorne is afraid he'll be replaced by cooler people. Who can replace you? I'll be lucky if I don't come home in 3 months crying like a 13-year-old girl because I can't hack being alone. But you will call, right? Anything to keep you from crying like a bitch. Oh, you. Anyway, Blanc shows Anthony a shop that also has those magic medallions that allow for transforming into a human. The owner turns out to be a Gorgon and is even blind. Neat. Apparently, she wants to give Anthony a test to see if he's an unturned human, and even gives him a medallion to try on. Of course, he's nervous, but Blanc seems confident it won't do anything to him. but given the conversation, you know something will happen. Going back to Finn and Lorne, we meet their respective older brothers, John and Paul. John is a little speciest, per se, while Paul is the one that Finn is replacing in traveling abroad. If anything, these pages expand the kind of families they have while providing more parallels to real life, as even they tend to have racial tensions and the constant, no, I'm not racist, but excuses we keep seeing. We also get to see more of Finn's family, and yeah, they seem pretty cool. I especially like the transparent dog they have, and one of them has a DS. I mean, it did come out that year, but it's August, so early release? Anyway, Anthony is reaching a point where he can't handle the strange truth he's facing, and it's putting a dent in their relationship. Well, I guess even friendship can't stop being overwhelmed, but it's about to get worse for the two. Sometime after seeing Blanc crying over the possibility that his friend is gone for good, he gets a call from him and, well, you know exactly what I'm talking about, you bloody freak! What the hell did you do to me? Oh snap, he's turning into a rock monster! And after that comment, I don't really mind because you're an asshole now. Now we enter the next chapter of exchanges, Heartaches. In this, Blanc shows up to Anthony's house to pick him up so they can figure out this problem. I'd personally leave him after that earlier comment, but then again, you wouldn't want anyone knowing about your special society. They go back to the shot where Yarel is in order to figure out what is going on. It seems his arms are turning into wings, which is odd because we all thought he was a human, and the medallion he had was for a fish-type creature, not a bird, meaning something else is causing him to shapeshift into a harpy. After some debate on what kind of harpy he's becoming, Yarel recommends they go see a sorcerer named Tim. Tim, according to the character section of the website, is a human, but his dabbling in magic got him some creature qualities like horns. And right now, he and his group are doing something big, it seems. Something bad, perhaps? See, this is why you need to see Tim the Enchanter. He might be big into explosions, but he is certainly the wisest of all magic users. No, they're trying to fix Sam's broken medallion as he's stuck in his human form when he's supposed to be a griffin. These guys keep making fun of him for his looks and for attempting magic, but after we see this ritual go off for what appears to be a tunnel, it's his turn to act snobby in front of them. They also seem to be part of a band, and after more conversations, we see Blanc arrive with Anthony to see if Tim can do something about the slow transformation. After more talks with another band member, they finally see Tim, who I'm just now noticing is very calm for most of his conversations. He asks about what his families are like, as any of them could possibly have creature blood in them that would make him a half-breed in some way. But anyway, it turns out the medallion he touched was an old blank one, and those are supposed to be more raw in how magic is used compared to others that are more streamlined. Either way, it might have caused a spell to break that kept him from transforming before, and it looks like he won't be able to do anything about it. So he's just like with Michelle. We see Paul show up, and he and this girl named Abigail start talking about their band and their plan involving the tunnel Tim made earlier. Even in their world, they seem to have many risks in getting certain things done. Mostly with the elders, it seems. Now, I haven't been talking about the artwork in this particular story, but I do love how now, as we get more and more characters of different species, we get to see more variety in how they express emotion. With animal characters, they tend to show emotions not just through facial expression, but also with their ears, and even tails, which can further showcase how they feel. With this set of chapters, we got an opportunity to see the range of Corey's knowledge of animal anatomy, while keeping to what makes these fictional beings what they are. It's a level of detail that's very appreciated and very, very good. Anyway, Anthony's still upset that his life has taken a drastic turn, and now he wants Blanc to leave him for a while. Sounds like they're both on the breaking point. Unlike Michelle, who learned the truth after meeting new people, this is between two friends who've been together for years, while one had no idea of knowing that their friend was hiding something this big. And to be dragged into it like that puts a bigger strain on him, especially when it's harder for him to accept it. Of course, to be fair, he's only been like this for a couple days now, while Michelle took a couple months or so. So while the scenario might be alike, the perspective is still different enough to where it's not a complete rehashing. And because their relationship is very personal, it still makes you wonder how this will all end. Now we enter the final chapter. Hello, goodbye. And we're going to see exactly what kind of fate they will share. While everyone else is enjoying themselves, Anthony is still sad and alone. Isaac, one of the other band members, decides to go talk with him about his problems on Blanc's behalf. He brings up the one thing that the two seem to share, and that's the fact they are both crossbreeds. I mean, Anthony thinks male harpies don't exist, yet Isaac here is a bugand/manticore crossbreed. There's another example he brings up, but he mostly goes over what I imagine would be the same case as Michelle. That he was born and raised to be human until he found out the truth about himself. Also, something I didn't mention is that some creatures are considered monsters, and they both occupy that category. He also goes over others who have similar problems, which I guess are supposed to make him feel guilty for hating everyone and relate to them, but it doesn't seem to work well. While this is going on, Finn and friends talk about America and what kind of creatures they have before being called over by Leia, who tells them that Lorne is still having problems with him leaving and all. It might just be that he hasn't gotten over the breakup they had from before, and he agrees to talk with him later. Meanwhile, Anthony asks about how something like this was kept secret for so long, while Lorne puts it best. Humans don't expect it at all. They see clues all around them, but they rarely put two and two together. This is very true, even when it's completely obvious that something is wrong. He does bring up the main point of this conversation: music. You listen to music. It doesn't matter who or what is making it. Close your eyes and just listen to the horsemen up there. You wouldn't know just by listening that they aren't humans. More or less, humans are more into not believing what they see, so he should take advantage of that since no one is really going to be after him in droves. Lorne's been waiting for the day their kind gets discovered, but it hasn't happened yet, so best not to worry about it. Anyway, apparently there's a barbet happening, so everyone goes outside for it. Royce here is apparently going to be fighting Jack in a mock fight, just as a contest to see who can land a hand on the other first. This lets us see some nice street choreography, though without action lines it seems a bit hard to follow, but at least Anthony seems interested. But poor Lorne, he is still very sad that Finn is going to be leaving and he'll feel lonely. Finn does join him and they start to have their little makeup session. It's all in good spirit, and Finn even decides to hand him a cassette tape of Weird Al's Polka. At any rate, Anthony admits to liking the fight, and while he's still not happy with the transformation thing, he doesn't really hold it against Blanc anymore since he didn't know this would happen, and is thankful he trusted him with this reveal. So things end with them having a casual conversation about Blanc's velvet antlers and something about Bambi. So, that was fun. Even with just one main character present, learning about these guys was still interesting. I guess part of me was hoping to see something big tie into the main plot since reading everything else, but then again, because of how much time was spent on that initial setup, it's only natural the creator would want to do something else to further expand the world, and or just do something a bit different. And yeah, it really worked out well. The new characters we got were pretty likable. Anthony was pushing buttons, but you can understand his dilemma and goes through enough character development where any animosity you have against him just fade away. Either way, it was still nice to learn more about Finn and what his life is like before the main storyline, and the art continues to improve as more creature types are introduced and their designs are revealed. In the way of world building, this comic excels, no matter the time or the place. Next time, well, let's just say we're going back to Uncanny Valley. Oh boy, just wait until then.